Okay, I'm back again, and this one might actually suck because I didn't sleep as per usual, hardly at all. But what else is new? It's just really bright with the blue light. I could turn it down a bit, but I feel like I need to hide right now. I'm feeling the shades, and then like I just want to sort of get this party started. Oh shoot, I'm having the feedback. Oh dear. Okay, I need to mute it. I can't even see the sign.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it can build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No.
This is sad, it's just me alone. I guess I'll wait for people to appear. I did a live at like 3 a.m. last night, and then I got a comment about how someone missed the live, and then I went people pleaser mode, and I was like, I need to do another live and pre-schedule it and then stick to the schedule. Like I have been wanting to do scheduled lives ahead of time so people can actually have a little bit of a heads up that it's coming. So I took it upon myself to, I don't know, challenge myself to do it, but I have stuff that I was supposed to get done that I didn't get done. Classic me. It shouldn't take me very long, but I'm leaving it to the last minute as per usual. Yeah, I was just moving super slowly today with the lack of the sleep, and I don't know why I'm here right now. I guess I'm here to like stick to the challenge. But it's just been so soon, I think, since the last live stream that I feel like I don't have much to offer besides I don't know, I was like delving into the freaking UK riots that are going on that are just crazy what's happening. But then it's like I don't even want to talk about it because it's like all controversial and stuff like that. And like I guess I'm known to be controversial at times, but I'm like I don't think I'm ready for that one. So
no exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some kids stay sober, looking over all their shoulders. Like moving borders, just can get out of the
on the window. Okay. Give me a second. I'm overheating in my hoodie, but because I'm neurotic, I felt like I had to match the outfit in the thumbnail, and I was wearing the hoodie, so I feel like I can't take it off. There's just pressure on myself about that. So, yeah. It's not going to be readable at all at this point, but it's there. Okay. Okay. I don't have rambles in me right now, so this is an awkward start again, but the sign, you can't see it. I gotta move it over a bit.
I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Okay.
I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really
Okay, that song's freaking depressing, but it's called Anxiety, so I thought it was fitting for our little Neurotics Anonymous session today. This is so boring because maybe it's not, because usually I probably talk too much, and so it's more chill. I don't know what other people do. I haven't really seen much of other people's live streams, but like, why am I comparing myself to other people? It's just what I naturally do, you know, can't help myself. God, it's really hot in here. I'm thinking maybe to get me in more of the mode, I'll do like the original theme song. I'm neurotic. It's chaotic. Let's talk about it. Everything's boring today. My dance moves, my everything. Okay. Someone say something, please. Someone say something in the chat. This is painful. This is painful. I have a need to entertain and fill the space. And I'm struggling. Maybe I should just meditate for once. That would help me, actually. It would help me because it's something that I strive to do, but I never freaking do it. I go through phases of like meditating for a week and then I just don't ever again. Maybe I could meditate to a song, maybe not. This is why I don't do the scheduled lives, because I don't know when the energy's gonna be there. And this is the longest I've gone without anyone saying anything yet, I feel. And it's like, maybe when I just do the live spontaneously, I intuitively know when the vibes are gonna be right. And because I was trying so hard and I scheduled it. Oh, okay. What's the question? Narsarlo was the question. Ask away. I'm intrigued. It's about the hair. Like, why does your hair look like that? Because that's usually what's going on in the chat these days, is the ridiculousness of my hair. Hello, Saray Edits. Oh, relationship advice. Okay, I'll try my best. I'm not an expert, but I know some things. So what's the question? What's the question? What's going on? Nisarlo, what's going on? It is really hot in this room. But I've committed to the hoodie and I'm not going to take the hoodie off. I'm not going to take it off. I think Nasarlo's typing the situation. How to ask a female to have interactions with you? Like how to ask a female to just hang out with you? Like, what do you mean by to have interactions? Like, is that, oh, how to talk? Okay, we're just talking. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're keeping it chill. We're keeping it chill. I think you gotta talk to her and see if she talks back. My word of advice though, with like, if you're, I'm guessing you're a male, because we can have female things, we have male, that we can have all the things and of the genders of the things these days, but obviously it's a male to female interaction. The advice I'll give is like, hey, me being on the receiving end of these types of interactions, it's like women, I don't speak for all women, but on average, the females, like, we will be nice back. Like, the guy will think we're like really into it and way more into them than we are, but we're just like being friendly and stuff and cordial. So it's about like reading the room, like picking up on the vibes, I feel. And if you just if you're always the one messaging her, like, I guess some women also like play games and stuff, but and like, why though play the game? Like, it's just exhausting. So like, if she's like playing hard to get or something to play hard to get, like, it's, you won't really know that. For me, okay, my advice is literally just be upfront, communicate. But when you're first getting to know someone, it's like, you got to check yourself if you're coming on a little bit too strong, if you're having like infatuation before you even know the person yet. But my advice too is to literally just like treat it like just, you don't know them as a person at all. If you're interested in them romantically, I feel like if it's like, okay, there's an opportunity for that, like you're interested in that way. At the same time, the best experience I had with my long-term partner Sean is like, we were literally just friends first. And every other experience that wasn't that went not good. It was just like situationships and not like relationship material. But when I actually knew him as a person, was friends with him, only then I started to, it was actually genuine. So yeah, that's my advice, is to just literally be friends first, and then it's no pressure. Like, it's so intense when, especially if you're on a dating app and stuff like that, it's just like so much pressure. Me especially, like me and my neuroticism could not even, like, it was just like, I just feel like you can't even know if you're romantically interested in someone anyways, kind of, unless you have a solid friendship foundation, and you cannot know that without being friends first, you know? I don't know, that's my advice. I gotta keep up with the chat. I'm not gonna be showing my feet tonight, okay? Simon likes the hoodie. I'm dying in the hoodie. I am in an internal sauna in the hoodie, and it's a lot right now. It's a lot. They just don't get it, Alyssa. They just don't get it. Yep. If she always opens my messages as I'm typing and sends memes all day, is she into me? It seems like it, but we never know the shenanigans. Like, things are not always as they seem, but it's like, I just recommend upfront asking too. Like, hey, I've had to just with like friendships, like, be direct lately, because, you know, it's just like torment on the other end of not really knowing, and it's like scary to be more upfront and stuff, and to just be like straight up like, hey, are you interested in me? Like, to give them that opportunity, because a lot of people just won't freely do that. So asking them can really save you a lot of time, or just be a game changer in the not just having something go along that like you're not really getting the straight upness of it. But if she's always opening your messages as you're typing and sends you memes all day, I have experienced myself though, like being more, I was kind of anxiously attached, and like someone that I didn't even, like, it was not really compatible, or I didn't click with, like, I got really attached. So it's also like, you got to watch out for the other person being infatuated with you and not really knowing you fully yet. But it just seems like a chill vibe. She's sending you those memes. We're together, but like, she's very strange. She has weird likings. I don't know. I'm weird myself, so I'm not here to judge. You don't know her fully. She's crazy over me. Yeah, okay. I've given that vibe. I think I've given that vibe like many a time. And that can just like be really intense for you. I've given that, but kind of, but like, I knew that I was being like, I knew, okay, I'm not like receiving what I'm sort of giving, like, you know, I'm messaging them and they're not initiating a message back, like they're not interested, and then I would just stop doing that, and then they would message me and like keep me would lead me on in that way. But like, when that's done to me, it really is, it pushes me away. Like, if someone was coming on to me so strong, like, I had people that like, they didn't actually know me and they were acting like they did, and it was either just based off looks or just like one interaction. It was like there was a guy that just like kept asking me out. He couldn't understand why I didn't want to date him. I just didn't like him that way. And then he asked my friend if I was a lesbian because I didn't want to date him. And then it was like he would see me out and about. Like I ran into him at the gym, and then he was like, "Oh, this is why I knew that I." What did he say? He messaged me like on Facebook or something, say this is like why I liked you in the first place or something, or like that smile, or I don't. It's like you don't know me. Like we hung out like one time, and so it's like you don't even know me. I gotta keep up with the chat. What does happiness mean to you, and how do you pursue it? Right? For me, happiness is within myself. Happiness for me is like not even trying to be happy. It's just feeling the feelings and not resisting them. And then I'm content, and then I'm not suffering. So to me, happiness is honestly just like not suffering, which is just being in tune with my body and not like resisting the experience. Like if I'm having the anxiety and the feelings, it's to just let it be and not attach to it and things like that. It's confusing. I can't tell if I'm in the friend zone, and it's annoying at this point because she acts like she isn't with a lot of her behavior. She acts like she isn't. Yeah, the struggle is just lack of communication, and some people too, they have a hard time being upfront even when confronted with it. But it was just like, it's just think of how much of a relief it would be to get to the bottom of it. Like just say how you're feeling with her, just what you're saying to me. Be like, hey, just say it to her, kind of like, oh, I notice you like to interact, you sending me memes, and like I just want to know, what are you looking for, or whatever it is, or like, are we just friends? Like, am I picking up on something that's not there? Because I thought maybe it was like a more than friends thing, but just ask, right? I'm gonna redirect my incels to you. I'm sorry, I have time. It's all good, Vken. It's I'm here to help in any way I can. I also am not an expert though. Like I can't stress enough to like just to do what resonates with you too. Like I'm just making suggestions, but I'm no guru, I'm no love guru by any means either. How can I say no in a nice way? Good freaking question. Good question. I'm trying to figure that out myself. Was your situation, you don't want, okay, I gotta recap. I'm worried if I'm mixing up two situationships here. Okay, you don't know her fully. Nazar, are you the same one that she's sending you the memes, right? Is that the same one? So are you not into her? If you know you're not into her, just be like, hey, it's hard. How do you do a nice way? For me, I'd rather someone be honest than people please me though, and like hang out to be nice. So, 17, she's 24. Jeez, this is like an interesting age gap. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's not compatible. I think it's not really compatible. You're in Texas. It's like in LA, wouldn't that be considered illegal? Because at 17 you would be like a minor, and it just doesn't seem compatible anyways. Yeah, bro, that won't fly in the USA. I live in Texas. In where I am, it's like the age of consent is 16, and I personally like my well, I had like a not real boyfriend kind of like earlier in high school, but like I dated a guy, like I was 17, he was like 23, which isn't like that crazy of a gap to me, but in general though, anyway, like for me it's like women mature, I think, like faster than men too, but like for me, I was fully aware of there was no taking advantage of in my situation at all, but it's not like it doesn't happen, but still for me, like it was an experience. It wasn't the best experience. He was a bit toxic. I had my own problems. I needed to, like, I was depressed and what, like, I was straight up with him. I didn't even, like, I knew we weren't compatible, but I just was, like, lonely. But I said that, I was like, yeah, I think you like me more than I like you. And, yeah, he, like, freaked out at me a few times over silly things, and it was just, like, it was such an ick. So it's, like, in general, like, I feel like, in general, we don't come into our own at, like, not even at 18, not even at, like, the highest, like, legal age of consent in the world. I think it would be 18. Like, for me, in the beginning of my relationship with Sean, like, my 7-year relationship, that's, like, it had been on and off sort of a couple times. It was, like, pretty toxic stuff. Like, I was 22 at the beginning of that, and so I still had not, like, I'm just finding my legitimate sense of self at 30 years old. So you gotta, like, figure yourself out, and it's hard to be figured out at 17. Like, that's pretty young. Okay, I scrolled up by accident. Hope your day went well. How was your day? It was good, but I procrastinated. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but things are looking good because I'm getting this flooring put in my room. I'm very lucky to be doing that. And if you've been on my channel, if you're, like, an OG on this channel by now, you might know about this shelf that I've talked about. It's probably been like 3 months. It was like May that I got this shelf that I said was going to change my life, and I haven't put the shelf up because I was waiting for the carpet to get taken out of the bedroom and for, like, the vinyl flooring to go in so that I could put the shelf up, because it's a really big, heavy shelf, and I wasn't gonna be able to, like, move it around with the flooring, and so, like, everything's getting set up, and I'm gonna finally clean my room for real. Like, I guess I have to clean everything out for them to do the floor, but, like, I'm gonna organize all my items and be less neurotic because of that, I think. Yeah, just tell her you're too young for her and she should date people it's legal to date or more closer to her age. Yeah, like, it's just not compatible at that age at all. Like, it's, like, up until a certain age, you're figuring out yourself and your sense of self and everything like that. And, like, on her end of things too, it's just, like, what is she having compatibilities enough with a freaking 17-year-old? So, and if you're not vibing with her, like, especially, it's like, choose you, dude. Choose you and get out of the situationship if it's not serving you, you know? I had a vision about you. No way. You're my type of normal. I hung out with the band geeks and Pokemon card collectors, jocks, and loners. LOL. Yeah, I was, like, a lone wolf in high school, but I was also someone that kind of was able to be friends with. I have to take the hoodie off. Sorry, guys. I was vibing with the hoodie, but I'm overheating like crazy and sweating. I was a lone wolf because I was depressed in high school, so I became a lone wolf, but at the same time, I was still, like, I wasn't hanging out with people anymore because I was just alone in my basement playing guitar, being, like, a loner, listening to Nirvana and stuff, and trying to play music and write write my really depressing music. But I was able to kind of bump around, and, like, I was not in a clique, but I could click with, like, every different type of person, I guess, sort of, like, but yeah, my high school was pretty cliquey kind of, but it depends. If you crossed paths with people in certain domains, it was like that stuff kind of dissolved in a way, because I played soccer and stuff, so there'd be, like, the popular and non-popular crowd part. There wasn't just popular people specifically on the soccer team, although most of them actually would be considered, like, the popular people, but yeah, it wasn't like the whole clickiness didn't, like, carry on to the soccer field at all. And but I had so much social anxiety, I was just, like, pretending to be myself and trying to be funny and be what people wanted of me, and they were, like, disappointed in me when I was not cracking jokes and stuff. Felt a little bit like pressure. Like, I remember them being like, oh, we really missed you at soccer practice. Like, this is just also nice and validating things they're saying to me, but I did just feel like if I showed not the happy side of me that I was gonna get abandoned. Like I kind of felt that, and it was just like, oh, soccer practice was just so not fun without you. Like, oh, we missed you, and I just thought I was gonna get abandoned if I couldn't be funny anymore. So I kept just trying to be funny, but I was like sweating through my socks, anxious the whole time, like hoping that the jokes landed, but being very fearful. What'd you eat today? What are you looking forward to this year? These are great questions, Dr. DeSesta. Because my ego, I guess at this point, like I just love being asked about myself. I don't know. If you can't tell, like I love talking. I love talking about myself. So let me think about what I ate. I made a salad with beef. I did have more iced tea. I had to finish the bottle of iced tea that I was like drinking last night. I just, the urge of it all, I had to. Obviously I didn't have to, but I chose to. I had like a beef salad, so arugula beef, blue cheese, cilantro, red onion, olives. I put way too many freaking things in that salad. And then I do like a vinaigrette, like a mustard vinaigrette sauce thing. And I made just like a bunch of it. And I pretty much mostly just ate that. I tried to make popcorn and I failed miserably. I burnt 2 bags of popcorn in a row, the last 2 bags of popcorn. And it really confused me because this popcorn was saying you could put it in the microwave for 1.5 to 2.5 minutes. And the other times I was making it, like I did, I think 2 minutes to start, or I did 1.5, but there was so many extra kernels. So then I switched to like 2 minutes or something. And oh, maybe that's where I went wrong. I swear I did 2.5. Maybe I had only done 2. I swear I did like the full time because I thought I did 2 minutes to the second bag, and then it was still all these kernels. So the third bag is 2.5 minutes, whatever, because no one gives a shit about the ramble. But so I don't know, I had in my head 2.5 minutes. Maybe that was wrong. I swear to God, I did that the other times and it was completely perfect. And so, I go for the second last bag, 2.5 minutes, burnt. And then I'm like, that's weird. It was working perfectly. So instead of putting it for in way less, I just did like 10 less seconds. I did 2 minutes and 20 seconds, burned to a crisp again. And then I was out of popcorn. So that didn't happen for me. The popcorn didn't happen. For me, the dogs from Nightmare Before Christmas, Frankenweenie and the Corpse Bride are all the same dog. Oh, like does it look the same? I don't even know. It's been so long since I saw Nightmare Before Christmas, but we watched it in high school. Not the memes. I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair. Young money millionaire. Josh is killing it here. Is that your real hair? Yes, it's my real hair. Is it worth? Have you tried it? Is it worth which thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Just catching your live. Inspires back in the chat. Chime in to say hi. Enjoy your evening. Keep dancing with life. Thank you. You enjoy your evening as well. Thanks for you didn't have to even come in and say that at all. So it made my freaking night that you jumped in just to send your warm regards. And so I really appreciate it. What kind of flooring? Luxury vinyl plank. Yes, it is that. The lady at the flooring store was an interesting character. I, as with a lot of things, probably am way over reading into it, but like Sean did get a vibe too because he was in the store with me, and she was just someone that you didn't feel the most comfortable asking questions with it. It was like this duh kind of thing almost. Like, I know nothing about flooring and she's saying these things. I don't know what she's talking about. And it's just like, it was like a little bit more of a cold demeanor. And then she didn't, like, I was in there the next week because Sean and we were in there to pick up flooring for the basement. And then I went by myself not that long after, a week after, not even, I don't know, maybe it was longer. She didn't remember me at all, and we were fully talking to her for a while the first time and everything, and she maybe just chose not to, like, she acted like I was a whole new person. I'm like, you don't remember me? I can't remember, maybe did I not have the haircut the first time, and then I had the haircut the second time, and that's why. I swear I had the haircut both times, but... And who cares? The world doesn't revolve around me. Like, why do I care? And in the past, I would be probably, like, actually sensitive about it in a way, almost. Or think that, like, yeah, I'm just such a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. But I love observing the characters now. And to just be like, she, I think, ranks lower on the empathy scale. Like, she just, I am just obviously extreme, like, people pleaser, but she was just like, it was just like, I'm not gonna really acknowledge or talk to you unless you make me or come up to my desk. Like, it's just, but yeah, I'm for that vibes too, because it's like, God, how exhausting doing customer service and like having to give all your energy so much to everyone that like goes in there. It was just, I was just like stressed about getting one of her like looking stupid, like, but I'm just have that complex about myself. Like, I hate looking stupid in public with things. Like, I hate dealing with the car guys. I did a video about that with like getting an oil change and dealing with the car guys, and like they know their stuff and I don't, and I just last time I just looked stupid because he didn't hear me and he thought I had no idea what like windshield wiper cover things were. Like, oh my god. Doesn't matter. Did you get click together, floor, or glue down? I don't think I even know. I have the boxes, and oh yeah, they would glue it. They would glue it because there's not, privileged me is not doing it myself. I should. I didn't know it was going to be so expensive to have it installed. Like, the flooring is so much cheaper than having it installed. I'm so privileged. This is funded by Sean. Sean's credit card. Yeah. I feel like guilty about it in certain ways, but I did not like beg him to have new flooring. I made a few comments about like the carpet, just everything in this house. It's obviously livable and stuff, and like we're complaining for nothing, but at the same time, the carpet is really, it's really worn and it's got stains and stuff. Like, Sean's ex had like, my room used to be like her little makeup room apparently, and like there's a makeup stain on the floor that I kind of got most of it out. It was really like brown, and I don't know if she was pale, but like, was she using a lot of bronzer? Like, it was just like a dark brown blotch, but I got it better, but it's still there. Like, you know me in the professional, I don't know. I was like, oh, it'd be nice to, like, I'm doing the whole room. I painted it myself and everything, and like making the room all nice in that way. And I was like, the last finishing touch would just be to like get rid of the gross carpet. And so Sean was for that. But the floor itself was $200 for like the whole room. But with the freaking labor, guys, it's insane. It's like $900 altogether. So it's like $700 for labor. It's a 100-foot square room, and then $200 just for the floor. It's like way more than half. It's like 3 times as much as the price of the floor itself. If I installed it myself, it would cost what, $200? Like, I think I thought I would have had to get a bunch more tools though. There's like this floor pusher thing in that you have to shove against the wall, and it looked pretty heavy duty. If you were a flooring expert, you probably wouldn't be asking that broad for help. Yeah, I don't know. It was just her job. But I just thought her character was interesting. I loved coming back home because Sean was there with me before the first time. It's just like, there's just like a little bit of a vibe. I don't know. There was another guy working there that like helps us put the flooring into our car, and his demeanor is just a lot different than hers, energetically and stuff like that. She just maybe seems like she's having not the best day or something. Like, it's just, you feel slightly like an imposition maybe, but that's obviously my own complex as well. But she's just like different. I think she really just doesn't care how she's like coming off and that, and like, good for her. She's not exhausting her energy. But like the other guy, he's just got a different vibe to him and stuff. And then I was like reading into it, like, is there like tension between the coworkers almost? Or is there like work stuff going on and it's like affecting her? I get so involved in these people's lives, these strangers' lives. But I loved coming home, and just because Sean and I don't even think we really talked about it the first time, because there wasn't really that much to it that time, and it was the both of us, and I wasn't having to like answer questions of hers that I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. It's just, okay, this is how she came off. It was, I don't even think it was as far as to say condescending in a way. It was just like, obviously I don't know, and like she wasn't helping me out as much, like explaining what things were. Like she asked me, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, oh, do you have this? And I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. And like she didn't even explain, or she's like, oh, I'll say no, kind of, maybe because I didn't know, or I just felt it was a struggle. And then I'm like indecisive with things too, and I just thought, oh god, I'm gonna annoy her if I can't decide what I want to do, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to like rip out the carpet myself, or have other people do it. She was helpful enough. Like she answered the questions enough, but it was the most minimal. But I enjoyed coming home after that and then being like, "Hey, Sean, did she give you a vibe? Is this just completely me?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, no, there was like a vibe there." And then we just have this whole discussion about it and how it's like, man, like what would it be like to just have not the people pleasy thing and to really like just not care how you're coming off to other people and stuff like that. Like we were just sort of like speculating about her life, and it was fun. Trust is worth 700 to not do it. Why is that sentence confusing me? To not do it, it's 700. It's worth, oh, it's okay. Guys, like I am I guess it's offensive to say the word retarded, but if it's true, like if I am that, like my brain is slow, and that's not in like it's not to offend the people with that condition. It's like the truth of like I'm with you, like I am slow in my brain. It's nothing against anyone. I have mental function freaking problems, okay? Like yeah, it's worth 700 to not do it yourself kind of vibes. Yeah, I would be anxious the whole freaking time of messing up. I'm so neurotic about first for anything, like doing something the first time, and it's like you get this really nice floor. It's like, oh, I'm getting this opportunity, and if I were to like mess it up, it would just ruin the whole thing. I would rather just keep the carpet if I screwed it up. So, maybe you're doing the wrong job. Yeah, I don't have, if you were, yeah, I'm not, I don't have a job, if that's what you're talking about. Is that house you own, right? Because if it's rented, then you can't change it like that. Yeah, Sean owns the house. I live in it. I live in it. Sean's world. I just live in it, guys. It's embarrassing, but I'm like a housewife with no kids that is really bad at cleaning. That is, I don't want to blame it on the ADHD, but like it's a part of it. I'm trying to get way better. Like I try and I feel bad about it. Like at least I'm not just like, yeah, I'm totally fine, you know, being a slob. Like I'm not okay with it. And Sean can be a slob, but in like other types of ways, like hoarding certain things like garbage and stuff, but he's getting way better. But like I'll throw out my garbage, but then I'll just like hoard clothes, or I'll leave my shit everywhere and not like clean up after myself. So, but why am I comparing? Like it's not a competition. It's not a competition. But it's just because, yeah, I feel like inferior a lot of the time because of my lack of skills and adulting capabilities. Why it costs that is because ripping up the carpet, cleaning the floor, disposing the carpet, redoing the baseboards if they have to. You gotta get a Bob UFO, no, because I'm removing the carpet myself. Like she said, it's an extra $100 for them to remove and dispose of the carpet. I want to try to make things for the cats out of the carpet to scratch on. So instead of paying the extra 100, I took off the baseboards myself too, and I have to also, they don't do the baseboards, they don't take them off, so I removed all those. And the carpet, at least I thought I was gonna have to cut it, because I asked her like, oh well, how hard is it to remove it myself, and she's like, as long as you have an X-Acto knife, it's pretty easy. So, but I don't even have to cut it, it's like cut exactly to the edge of the wall. It's just glued down. I just gotta rip it up. I just have to finish, me and the procrastination, like it's happening tomorrow with the flooring, I think at 2 p.m. All I had to do was just like finish taking out everything in that room to like rip the carpet up and then put it somewhere. But I need to cut it in half because it's also really big, I think. So, but yeah, they're not redoing the baseboards as well, right? Like I got to put the baseboards back on myself, new ones because the ones are destroyed, but we had extra from the basement that are nicer anyways. So yeah, all they're doing is it's going to be bare down to the subfloor. It's just subfloor when they get there, no baseboard subfloor. So $700 to like lay it all down stuff. And I feel like it's not, they booked it for, unless I put the wrong time, it's like scheduled for 2:00 p.m. in my phone. That seems pretty late in the day to get started, sort of, but maybe they go till 5. Is it going to be 3 hours max for them to do this thing? That's like pretty good business for them because I already bought the floor from them too, right? So yeah, it's like literally $700 just for the labor to do it all in 3 hours or so. Yeah, if you don't have the right saws and stuff, then it's gonna cost money for all that stuff, and you'll probably make it look not perfect because it takes practice. Yeah, the equipment. I don't know what saw you use. Like, Sean got a saw from the pawn shop for the baseboards that we did in the basement, and it's just like a chop saw thing. And I had a little bit of experience from that with a former job that I did, but it really isn't hard at all. It just goes like that. But I get so unconfident with things that I've never done, so at least like I did all the cutting of the baseboards. It was good having that little experience that I did have because I was confident with that. So I want to make things like custom shelving for my room, and then I'll have to do my own baseboards, like cut them and everything. We managed the angle corner cut. We did like one angle corner cut in the basement, and the rest, when it was 90-degree angles, we just lined it up 90 degrees. We didn't try to do like the angle cuts. But there was a really wide angle, and then we spent, like, my math was not mathing. It was so crazy. I was like, Sean and I both were getting like the angle wrong of what to do on this like non 90-degree angle. We had a measure, but then I was like mixing up in my brain, and then we kind of met in the middle and figured it out, but I felt like a dummy. I felt just like us two dummies trying to math for an hour. It was just like such a struggle. And then I finally, like, I found a video on YouTube specifically with, I think, this pretty much the same angle that we had, because it was just like more of a unique angle, and then that solved it for us more so. Sometimes you can get taller ones if the paint got messed up. Oh, taller baseboards. Yeah, the old ones ripped off. They glued a lot of them. When we did the baseboards in the basement, we didn't use any glue at all for anything, like just the nail gun. Not a bad price. Small jobs are going to cost more. It would be cheaper for a whole house per square foot. Yeah, the whole house would be insane. This room has the same old carpet that the other bedroom had. Like, I want to now renovate this whole room. Like, I want to paint this because there's this the basement was unfinished, so we made like a studio space in the basement that's like, it's Sean's space kind of, but like we're gonna be using it to film. We're gonna return eventually on our reaction channel that we were doing months ago, and we didn't have a studio space for. We were trying to like ramshackle do that in the master bedroom. It was very squishy. So, but the basement was completely unfinished, just concrete. There was no wall. Like, we got a wall built that was really freaking expensive. And then we got flooring put in the concrete, right? And then the baseboards and all that. The ceiling's still like undone, but it's a really cool look because it's just like exposed wood ceiling. And then we painted it like a black color, and he's decked it out with all these lights and everything. So that's his whole thing now. That's his whole space. He used to be in this office with the computer stuff, but he moved that downstairs. He has the master bedroom to sleep in, because we have different sleep schedules all the time, and I found that was the best. Like, I didn't need that big of a room. I was in there. I was living way too freaking cushy for what I provide financially to the relationship and chore-wise. I'm like, you should get the big spaces. We should switch. Because the master bedroom has its own bathroom too. So if he sleeps into the morning or afternoon, like, I'm more of an early riser usually, that's the best room he's got his own bathroom in there, and like to not get woken up by me using the blender in the morning. It's like it's like the opposite corner as the kitchen. So he's now has master bedroom, whole basement space. So, and then I had a little small bedroom, but I was trying to fit everything in that bedroom. Like I've talked about this before, how my bed is going in the closet. Like I took the closet doors off, the bed's going in the closet to fit the big ass shelf in there that I'm gonna like put my clothes and plants in, and it's not all gonna fit. But and then I'm like, where is my workspace gonna be? Like I have no desk, and how's the desk gonna fit in my little bedroom with everything? But when we decided to do the whole like basement renovation, it really worked out because now this is my office. This is my freaking office. So I have an actual work office space. But that's probably it's gonna take a year just to do this. Like the first room has been taking a century. I procrastinated so hard on it, and like the painting and the perfectionism and making decisions, and like it's never decided upon or done. And I just like don't want to commit to an actual decision. So but yeah, it's gonna take them an hour. Yeah, not even 3 hours. The chances are whoever installs it is going to be a separate entity than whoever sold it to, and they subcontract it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, the store's called End of the Roll, and so they sell the stuff. And what I heard from that one is they don't, or I guess they outsource themselves. But I thought of the option of like just buying the cheap flooring from them because I got it on a pretty good sale. It was like $1.99 per square foot, and then is it cheaper to then out like can I just buy the floor and then get someone else to do it? Like I guess you could do that. But I don't think you can do the reverse with them. Like they don't just do labor for you if you found flooring elsewhere. It's kind of a package. You're like you have to buy their flooring. But interesting if they're freaking outsourcing it. Like there's an upcharge because they're giving the store a cut, but they're actually outsourcing the labor and stuff. So that's maybe why it's so expensive. Name a movie for an edit. I've gotten this thing before, like for an edit. Like, what does that mean? Is that slang? For an edit? A movie. There's one I'm thinking of visually, but I can't remember the name of for some reason. It's like from the 80s, I think, and the kids are in detention and they're trapped at the school all day in detention. And it's all these different like characters. There's sort of like the popular girl, there's like the misfit girl, there's like the lone wolf girl, there's what's it freaking called? Don't know the name right now, but other than that, The Outsiders just popped in my head. It's a book originally, The Outsiders, but it was also like an old movie. I'm just being so vintage and retro today with the old movies and the vintage hairstyle. Oh, The Breakfast Club. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. Oh, the Elf movie. That's a good time. It's a good time. What is for the edit though, Lily? I'm curious. Like, is it like you clip something for an edit, like someone saying a thing? Because I don't know the lingo because I've heard the for an edit thing and it's like I'm out of the loop with that and I need to know. It's a decent movie. The rumble at the end was insane and The Outsiders. Oh yeah, the rumble, like the fight and stuff. Yeah, I was just really I had to read the book in high school and it is such a good book, and then I was just kind of infatuated with the story. It's just so intense. It's drama and it's like, whoa. It all of a sudden it's just not chill. Like it's kind of a thriller in a way, in a drama way. It's kind of like, oh shit, like we're into it. Like this is a crisis, you know? And then they're like just things are happening left and right. They're like staying at the old church thing and it just like becomes and there's a church fire, this fire, like the stuff goes down. It's Johnny, right, that ends up like unaliving one of the Socs, and then he's like on the run from murder, and then it's just like, but nothing gold can stay. Is that how it goes? Nothing gold, nothing good can stay, or go. What is the poem? Is it Robert Frost? I think they want to make an actual edit. I see them say name a car for edit. I think they make a little movie to music about the car or the movie or whatever. Oh, that's cool. Am I in it though? Do I get to like star in the edit? Do I get to be in the show? I gotta plug in my phone, so just give me a sec here. Dallas Who Killed Someone? Yeah, I thought, didn't Dallas is like the bad boy, or his name's not Johnny. Am I mixing up the name to the person? Isn't Dallas the tall guy? What freaking actor plays him in the movie? Let me just look it up. Oh, doesn't Dallas help? He helps the guy, the younger kid. Isn't it Johnny? He helps him, doesn't he? Because he had gotten into situation, like, isn't he like kind of the one that they call to help them? What's his name? Okay, Matt Dillon's that actor. Johnny Cade. Yeah, Johnny kills him, I thought. She stays gold pony boy. Oh yeah, stay gold pony boy. Stay gold. Balloon Bunny says the hair's cool. Thanks. Nothing could last forever. Yeah, I think I said it totally wrong. It's just nothing gold can stay. I don't know. I should look up the poem. Yeah, Dallas is the OG, the super thug. Johnny got lit up in the fire. I swear though, Johnny in the beginning, and then they run away. He's on the run. Bob was unalived by Johnny, it says, with a 6-inch switchblade. Johnny unalived Bob because he didn't. Ponyboy would have been drowned by another one of the Socs. Yeah, remember they were at night and they got jumped by the Socs? And then it's just Ponyboy and Johnny at the park or something, and it's like nighttime, and then yeah, Johnny was like the smallest, littlest, and so it was such a moment of like self-defense in a way, and also it was like no one was expecting Johnny to have done something like that. And so, and then I just remember they go and they find Dallas, and Dallas, like, he's partying, right? He's just like at a party, and he's just, oh yeah, okay, this is what we're gonna need to do, and that, but yeah, that is what happened. YouTube's not gonna like this content. Like, it's a movie. YouTube, like, calm down with the demonetization. Like, I know you're going to demonetize this for sure. Not to be rude, but you low-key sound like girls who saw Girly Pop, bruh. I'm not offended because I don't even freaking know what that is. Yeah, I'm weird because I feel like I have a feeling that that's a Valley Girl type of a thing though, and I'm weird because it's like I can be really tomboy and monotone and not be all girly sounding at times, but then when I get on the lives especially, I think I get all, when I get more nervous or uncomfy too, I'm like, oh, like, I don't know, I turn into that. Girls who saw, what is that though? I want to look it up. Girls who saw, what is it though? Is it a movie? What is Girly Poopy? What is going on? Yeah, I'm clueless too, Balloon Buddy. Enjoy your night as well. I think I'm gonna end this soon so that I get the task done that I need to get done with getting the carpet out of the room. I have an urge to get an ice cap. Like, why? It escalates real quick, guys. It escalates real quick. Like, I stayed up pretty much all night last night, didn't get to sleep till the morning, and I have such a disjointed, broken sleep. Excuse me. I probably like laid down at 6 a.m. maybe, and then 10 a.m. I'm kind of like up again, and then during that time I'm not even in a deep sleep at all, and I'm just like having these stress, half asleep, rumination-y types of things, like stressing about, because I posted this new podcast and it was like, did I do the title right enough? Should I have like it'll be the stupidest thing where it's like I titled the podcast like number 1 and then the topics, and it's like, should I have done like number 1, like the number symbol 1, how Joe Rogan does it or something. Like, it'll just be me having this like stress response. I can't control it because I'm like half asleep is like part of my dream nightmare sequence thing. It's like something that I have also already figured out. Like every time I'm back to consciousness from that, I realize like, no, I'm happy with my title. I don't care. And then I like doze off. And then the same scenario. It's like this loop thing. And I've had it before with jobs where I have like these stress dreams at night about a problem with my job that's like made up. That's part of the dream. It's really confusing. And it happens when it happens when I'm just like, have had the caffeine. My brain can't actually sleep. And it's looping on some shit, you know? What's RSD? I don't know. I love Joe Rogan. Some episodes are good. He pissed me off when he questioned if Jesus is real, though. Oh, okay. Like, if he was a real person that actually existed and lived. Because I think he was a real person, but I don't believe in he was God on earth. I was talking about that last time. But, like, I guess there's historical records of Jesus having existed as a person. But I don't think it's the character that's in the Bible that's been really dramatized. And the Bible apparently was written 100 years after Jesus had already passed. So it's like, yes, Joe was like, did Jesus exist? LOL, haha. Well, he's just questioning everything. Like, to me, I am open to the possibility of, like, he could have not existed, but I think there's just maybe too much evidence that he did. Like, obviously someone was going to be named Jesus at some point in time too. Like, a Jesus at some time existed, but the Jesus. He could have been questioning, like, is it the same guy in the Bible is based on? Like, is there enough characteristics that tie it to that human on earth? Or was it kind of like really not based on any person in a way, like how, you know, Jesus lived till a certain age, was it 30 or something? Was he like a woodworking craftsman? So he had like a specific job, and then was his mother actually known to be married? Like all those like little details, maybe Rogan was questioning the validity of all those specific things. It's sort of like, oh, there wasn't even like it's too far-fetched to like tie it to that Jesus person. I don't know, but thank you, Corey. I just was feeling the shades tonight. I can respect if you don't believe that he is what the Bible says, but to say he isn't real is wrong. I think there's a lot of evidence. Yeah, like scientifically, I'm just someone too, though, that I just have a hard time trusting anything sometimes. Like, I haven't found the original sources myself of the evidence of the existing of Jesus. Although, okay, I watched this like really long, they were playing this documentary. It was some 10-part series maybe on cable TV. I think it was like at my grandparents', and I got really into it and interested. I'd love to try to find it now and finish it, and it was all about Jesus and who he really was and stuff, and all about the Mary Magdalene things and that, and like, was he married at all or in a relationship? Oh, my freaking light just died. Okay, I have a backup light though. Now the sunglasses are unnecessary. These lights don't last for that long because it's cordless. Oh, where's my backup light? I have one more of these. Oh, okay, here it is. Because I want the blue. I like the vibe of it. Yeah, the history thing I was watching, I don't know what the heck I was rambling about, but I don't trust a lot of things too, or historical, or things we've been told, and that, like, I'm kind of open. I'm not open enough to be like, oh, flat earth is a possibility. Like, I'm really not open. That door's shut for me at this point, but there's a lot of things that I'm kind of like, maybe it's not that way. Maybe the Jesus thing, though, I'm pretty set on him existing, but there's other things that I'm a little bit just like, well, how do we really know? Do we really know enough, or is it more speculation, not as much concrete evidence, or just something that's been pounded into our heads so much from childhood that we would just never even question it, right? We would never even question the validity of it. Why does this one seem less bright? Is it doing like a weird color thing? RSD is an ADHD thing? Hey, I'm intrigued. Rejection sensitive dysphoria is when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. Yes, this condition is linked to ADHD. Yes, I'm very hypersensitive. I think I've gotten way better though with the rejection sensitivity, but it still totally flares up in certain ways intensely, you know, like, and I just think of things that could happen and I'm like, oh, I wonder how I'll be able to handle that because I am so sensitive. I'll be like, even today I'm like, oh, you know, the lives seem to be going pretty well in that, but if someone was like, I don't know, you shouldn't be doing this, you're causing harm or something, I don't know, you know, it's their opinion. I don't know, sometimes I think, oh geez, would I really revert back to, would I really get really affected by that? I've been actually surprised sometimes by, I've had comments of people sort of policing how I'm acting in ways that were really triggering to me in the past, kind of because of my conditioning stuff. It's also different when it's like a random internet stranger. It's like, well, you don't really know me. But I really was way more conforming to try to fit the status quo. So I guess those things, honestly, it kind of will pump me up in ways, but I will ruminate about stuff still. But yeah, the failure thing I would have when I worked, if I messed up at work, it really took a lot out of me. And I was diagnosed with borderline, so I thought, oh, maybe it's like the borderline sensitivity. But I just align more with ADHD, especially these days, because why I started, I'm not vibing with the ADHD meds, like it helped me at a certain point, but why I started them too was I actually told my doctor, you know, I was diagnosed with the borderline, but there is a lot of crossover in symptoms, and like I do think I did fit that at the time, but like I've now worked through all those things. I thought, okay, it's those types of symptoms I'm having, but I said I'm not having the borderline stuff anymore, and I'm like still struggling with these are very much like ADHD symptoms, and so it's like I've resolved that other thing, but it's like, okay, well, why can I still not focus and organize and do the, I just thought it was like the emotional roller coasters every day that was, excuse me, affecting that, which it kind of was, but then it was masking that I do have a different way of my brain processing, but the chemicals don't even seem to actually work, or at least long term. Like the medication stuff isn't an actual solution for me. Okay, wait. Back when I was here, we were talking about relationships. Oh yeah, okay, a lot has transpired since then. We're talking about the ADHD things. Bob enlightened me on RSD, which stands for rejection sensitive dysphoria, is when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. This condition is linked to ADHD. Experts suggest it happens due to differences in brain structure. The rejected thing has been a lot for me. The whole, it's a fear of abandonment thing. It's just still hard to be, I just get such a cringe and ick of what others think of me, even though I'm happy with what I'm doing and stuff. I went for a walk with my dad the other day and he watches some of my channel and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, it's really long videos, so I don't watch the whole thing, but I'm just like, oh, cringing at myself because our politics have not aligned at times, and I'm just like, I don't know, I just have a hard time him thinking, I don't know, not getting it how I get it, but he does not let that affect the relationship at all. He doesn't talk about it. It's not like, oh, you said this thing I disagree with. Like, if anything, in the past I was bringing things up to talk about, but it was just I don't know, it was a lot. It was hard to just share ideas back and forth, and he was getting a bit flustered because I was saying things, trigger words that Fox News also says, but I'm like, I'm not even watching Fox. Like, I don't even vibe with Fox. But if you say things like gender ideology rather than, or I guess it's called queer theory officially, I didn't realize that was, I guess that's sort of like a right-wing thing to phrase it as, kind of, but that's, to me, it is like a type of ideology. It's not based in science. And then it's like, oh, and then I don't even want to be using the term that all the Fox News people are using at all, because I don't align with their views entirely. Like, I'm not on their team at all. Some things we would resonate on, and then others we wouldn't, and it's just, they're so intense about things sometimes, like the other way around. Or but then if I use one same word as them, it's like, oh, you're brainwashed by Fox News and blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, I could say the same thing about like CNN, okay? But he didn't even care that he seemed super chill, my dad, about, it was not any rejection. I make the rejection up in my head. I don't even have to be rejected to have the rejection sensitive dysphoria symptoms. It's just like I start almost rejecting myself, or an ick. It's just like, why do I have to be so overly approved of to be okay sometimes? Like, I was fine though. I'm like, I'm letting that be its thing, but I'm also just cringing. Like, I just have to block it out of my head. And I think for anyone in my position, it's just awkward to, it's different when you don't even know the reaction at the time. Like, I'm saying things that are controversial times, stuff like that he maybe doesn't agree with, and then it's like, oh god, I don't even, now he has that info, and then it's like, oh, maybe he's like thinking these things, but I'm not even in that interaction at the time. But it's like, who gives, like, why do I have to be not rejected in ways? Like, it's just normal and human. Like, no one's gonna like everything about me, obviously, because I don't like everything about everyone else. Like, people annoy me sometimes, I annoy people sometimes. Like, it doesn't have to be the end of the freaking world. I'm getting way better at that, honestly, though. Like, with being, I don't get all I think I was talking about this last time. I don't get so defensive anymore, especially with Sean, about my things I need to work on, and neuroticism and stuff like that. And because I don't have as much shame, that I don't reject it myself. Like, I just couldn't accept that I was actually imposing on people sometimes, and being annoying, and overstepping my welcome, and not respecting their boundaries. Like, I just did it tonight even. I talked to Sean way longer than he was comfortable with, because he was like ready to leave, and then I was like, oh, we got into this like interesting discussion about a thing, and I was just like, and I got a bit anxious about it, I guess, because it was like a bit of a controversial thing that I wanted to talk about maybe eventually, and I was trying to figure out, like, I was just like, I should be able to just share these ideas. Like, it's not, it's reasonable to me, and that, and he was like, yeah, we can totally have this discussion another time, but I'm like, want to get down to the basement and work on my decluttering, and then I just let it go on a few more sentences and disrespected his boundary, and it's like, okay, but I can accept that I did that, but I used to just be immature before and not be as self-aware, or I was kind of aware, but I was just defensive. I just couldn't accept it, because it was like, if that is true, like, if I imposed on him, like, I'm just the worst at, like, ew, I can't accept that I was human and not perfect, so that was a big ramble. That was a big ramble. If you meet someone who takes Adderall for too long, they will start doing crap like making sound effects while they drive and making random weird sounds and stuff. This is probably me already. Before I ever, okay, that's not true. Way back in university, I'm 30 now, so I was like 18 at the time. I did a very brief stint of like a week or two. The doctor tried me on Dexedrine and then Vyvanse. For a very brief time, it made me grumpy and cranky. I didn't like it, and I just, for years and years and years, and I didn't do any of the ADHD meds, and I wrote off ADHD because it didn't feel like some formal diagnosis at all. I've told the story before. Like, I went in for a stomach ache. He looked at my file. He gave me an ADHD survey, which wasn't the one that I got this year that was more official, And it was just like, is your room messy? I just didn't take it seriously at the time. But why am I prefacing with that? Because I need to be completely honest. Oh, yeah, it's like, okay, that one time I did that medication, I swear I make the sounds and do the things like that. And so it for me can't be a effect of the meds because I wouldn't have been on them for long enough at all. And it wasn't even Adderall. I guess it was the other two, but they're this similar. But I would do this constantly, constantly. I don't know. It's like a soothing thing. I stopped with that one for years, but I would do it with my grandparents, my Greek grandparents, and they thought it was fun. And I would just get them to do, I'd be like, or I would just be doing it randomly. I don't know. And then they would try to do it. They would be like, but I'm like, how can you not roll your tongue? Like, you're Greek. I was doing it with my throat because I can't actually roll my actual tongue. So it'd be like, it'd be like a fake rolling my R tongue thing. And they'd be like they tried to do it. And I'm like, oh, you cannot even. Like, it didn't seem to annoy people too much. But it was just this thing. But Sean's the same way too, so that's not even an ADHD thing. Sean's more with phrases and songs. He'll change the words to songs. We had this dog, Gus, that unfortunately passed away. He had like degenerative disc disease and like passed only at the age of 4. But we had this, it was a pug, Cocker Spaniel, and just like the pudgiest, cutest freaking floppy ears, but like full pug face. His name was Gus, and he was so cute. And Sean would like say, he would change the words to songs, and it would be 1 or 2 lines of a song, and one of them was like, I don't even know what the actual song is at all. I don't even think I've never heard the real song. I've just heard Sean's rendition of it with Gus. It was like, ooh, Gusty boy. His name's Gusty boy. You, what is it? You ride the Greyhound. I ride the something. You ride the. I don't know. It was like a silly like diss song. I don't know if it was just like a freaking kids silly pop song thing. And he would do that over and over and over and over all freaking day. And I'm like, okay, stop. I can't, like, stop. And then we went to Greece. He kept trying to do a Greek accent over and over. And it actually started to really annoy me. But it was an Italian accent because it's kind of hard for some people to, if they're really not familiar with, like, Greek can sound Italian to people. And so Sean was like, oh, mamma mia, or maybe he wasn't always saying mamma mia. I'm like, that's so Italian, but he was just like, oh, he would just say whatever was happening at the time in this fake accent, and every time I'd be like, that's Italian, that's not Greek, because I'm actually Greek, and it was offending me at a certain point in time, because I was like, that's not it, like, I've told, like, and they just did it more to annoy me, and I'm like, oh, he would do it constantly. So anyways, the whole repetition of the things and the sound effects or things like that, I do that. While they drive, though, that's funny. Making random weird sounds and stuff. Like, now I want to do that one again and bring it back. It's like a nervous system soothing thing for me, honestly. Charlie, Trump, or Kamala. Oh, God, okay, we went over this last night. The point that I specifically want to make tonight, too, is, like, even though if I'm in Canada, so I can't even actually vote, but then again, what are the voting laws in the States? Like, is this just fake news of that people can vote without IDs now or something like that? Because it was, like, discriminating against people who had, like, illegally immigrated or something like that. I don't know. Is that actually a thing? Does that actually happen in places that could I go to the States during the election and just be like, yeah, I don't have my ID because I don't know, but don't discriminate me, and then they would let me vote. I don't know. Anyways, but probably can't vote as a Canadian if I had to, if it was like I didn't have a choice to not participate in the silliness of it all. I think it's a little bit of a charade. I think it's a bit of a fake thing. But if I had to vote and it was between those two people, I would vote for Trump. But I don't think Trump is going to save everyone. And if he gets elected, can only be there for 4 years. The system is just I don't think it can be fixed from within. And like, I just don't vibe with the energy of treating, not saying Charlie at all that this is you whatsoever. I guess I just like to say this because it's like, I just don't want to be like, people will box me, and if they want to box me in somewhere, I don't like to be boxed in with the like Trump is like treating him like he is this like literally God, like going to save everyone and everything. I don't think he can really even change things if he wanted to, if he was trying to I don't know, make life more livable in the States. I'm Canadian. I can only watch from afar and see what it's like. It seems like the economy on to me was doing better when Trump was in, but I don't know. There's always like the opposing thing being said at the time, but it did seem like it goes way, way more downhill when it's the Democrats too, because they're like outsourcing for the oil production, stuff like that. Not an expert though with all this shit. So the States was being more self-made with Trump. That seemed to be one of his main goals, was like, let's, you know, produce our own oil and be more strong as an economy and yeah, just having, you know, not as crazy maybe taxes or pricing and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was maybe doing better. But if he has 4 years and that's it, I don't know. His vice president guy seems cool. I don't know too much about him. I can't remember his name. But there's a movie about him. I mentioned that last time. Kamala Harris seems fun though. Like she seems like a fun, they're calling her wine mom or something. I just love to observe now with the characters. I'm kind of impartial to everything. I used to be way more intense about it. Like for me in Canada, I was like really upset with Trudeau and stuff like that. And like, yeah, what he's doing sucks. I don't like it. He seems to really like China's dictatorship, and he implements those types of ideals in certain ways in Canada with like free speech and stuff like that. But I see Trudeau now as like a silly character, and he makes me laugh. Like I used to get enraged, but it's not healthy for me to get mad too. And it's like, he's not gonna last long. Trudeau's gonna get voted out pretty soon, and it's whatever. And the whole thing I think is just silly and fake anyways. Like I don't even trust the other parties, the conservatives and stuff. I don't trust them. Like how I was talking earlier about, I don't like subscribe to a side. The left, right, or like Fox News sketches me out as well. That I think it's propaganda in ways as well. And also it's like this, it just keeps this like two sides, silly dramatic team thing going. Like each side always seems to swing too far, and it's not actually, it's just drama. Like no side is completely unbiased with Fox News, CNN, whatever. It's like the independent journalists and stuff are trying to be actual non-biased, like how maybe it used to be way back when with the media. But nowadays it's just kind of funny, and I'd love to just observe Kamala and Trump like have a lunch with each of them and just be like, who is this freaking character? I would love to talk about the passage of time with Kamala. It would be no pressure for me because I don't form proper sentences a lot of the time myself. So it'd be like no pressure for me to form a coherent sentence. Trump, I would feel at home with the flavor of neuroticism that he seems to have with repetition and maybe rumination, a sort of way that like he's saying the same thing 3 or 4 times. Not even really in a slightly different way. He's like repeating himself. Like I was listening to the Elon Musk interview with him. I didn't really get that far, but Elon was trying to like move him along. He's like, okay. Like they only have so much time, right? And it's like, okay, we heard exactly how you feel about that, but he's like saying it again just to say it again in the same way. So it's like, it's funny. I'm like, yeah, I can relate to the, like, I'll do the same. I'll repeat myself over and over and be neurotic. So I feel like I would have a hoot just like chilling with the both of them. It's just kind of funny. not funny about the friggin' assassination attempt. Like, that to me was very real and sketch, but I was open definitely to, okay, was there really a nefarious thing going on? It seems like it's hard to keep up with everything. It just moves along, right? And I wanted to keep up with the investigation of what went down with the Secret Service, but Bob just shot his pants on accident. Oh dear. Sorry to hear that. I hope though you're probably, you know, in the comfort of your own home and can get that cleaned up. But it's, no matter what's uncomfortable for the moments that you are sitting in the shart. I don't think it's happened to me really. I'm really lucky that that has not happened. But yeah, you can't trust the farts. I think I just, because I'm so anxious and stuff, I'm really always on, I'm quite cautious, so I think I don't take the risk, and that's how I've been unscathed. So yeah. I think I missed, did I miss this Dexedrine comment? Dexedrine is basically Adderall. Adderall is a 50-50 mix of the left and right in isomer of amphetamine, and Dexedrine is exclusively the right-hand isomer of amphetamine. Bob knows his stuff. You are quite knowledgeable. So what's the difference between the Dexedrine and the Ritalin or Concerta? Like, Concerta is the long form of Ritalin, so I've tried both of those. Vyvanse and Dexedrine made me really cranky, and I had a totally different reaction from those years ago when I tried them versus the Ritalin or Concerta. I have a friend with ADHD that takes Concerta, and she told me that she also does not do well with Vyvanse or Dexedrine. And I thought at the time too, like, the way that I got diagnosed sort of, or given that medication with this doctor at the university, that I was not even seeking that out. I was, oh dear, I'm blanking. What was I gonna say? Oh no. The lack of sleep is catching up to me, guys. There was a good point I was gonna make. It's gonna be gone. It's totally gone. It freaking annoys me when this happens. Oh, I guess, yeah, I wasn't convinced. Okay, I thought that because I had that side effect of the crankiness with the Dexedrine and the Vyvanse too, I was like, I totally wrote off having ADHD at all too, because I'm like, oh, I didn't react well to the meds. But my friend, who was actually diagnosed with ADHD at quite a young age, she's like, oh, I get the same reaction. So just because you get that cranky reaction doesn't mean you don't have the ADHD. But I thought, oh, I guess I don't need this med. Not for me, don't have it because of that. Yeah. There wasn't much point to saying that, but I said it. Bob, I just rubber banded that pair of boxers out of my window. I live on the 23rd floor of the building. You did not. You did so not just do that. Did you actually just chuck them out of your window? That's hilarious. I really hope no one got smacked in the face with those boxers. I don't think that the chances of that are probably pretty low. Like, if it did happen, it was maybe something meant to happen. It was like a synchronicity in the universe that was like, oh, this person, you know, the karma of it all, and the timing of the boxers, the sharp boxers being thrown out the window, and the perfect time of someone colliding with it. Like, if it ever happened, it would have been something that was meant to happen. Unfortunately, I feel. Concerta is a time-release version of Ritalin, which is the chemical name is methylphenidate. Yeah, so is the difference, is Ritalin and Concerta more pure because it's the one chemical methylphenidate, if I'm getting that correct? Like the Adderall, you said it's a 50-50 of the, was it the isotone? Is it actually two different chemicals, kind of? Adderall 50-50 mix of left and right isomer of amphetamine. So it's still just one chemical of amphetamine, I guess. But it's like the isomer, like this part of the I don't, it's so freaking complicated, but I guess they all kind of affect the same part of the brain. Concerta is interesting because it uses a pinhole for the time release on top of the capsule, where most pills like Adderall use a coating that dissolves. Interesting. What is the pinhole mechanism? How does that even work? Does it leak out of the hole? It slowly like leaches out of that little hole thing or something. Yeah, it's crazy what they can do at this point with the tech of the things and having a medication release at the right time slowly. But maybe it's more ramshackle than we think. It's kind of like, oh, this sort of works, but they have such advances. But then again, it's like, why can't they figure out basic shit? Like, you know, cancer is such a mystery, but at the same time, it's kind of not. I've watched some stuff about the whole cancer thing. Like, there's been some people, it seems, that have developed some promising treatments, but it got shut down. But there was one guy still practicing. He does chemo as well at his clinic, but he does this other specific thing. I can't remember his name, but he's in Texas or something. But that treatment he does is so not mainstream at all, right? Like, they use the crappiest treatment stuff when they have these advancements, it seems, and they just don't entertain them for some odd reason. It leaks out of the hole. It's actually crazy technology. Yeah, cancer is basically a medication technology marvel. It so is. That's crazy. I think I'm going to get going on getting the carpet out of the room now because it's getting a bit late. It's just about 8:30. But thanks everyone for joining the chat. Bob, I hope no more sharts tonight in your pants. I'm glad you survived the first incident and you were in the comfort of your own home. And were able to discard of the soiled boxers immediately. Watch you just like go for a walk the next day and then you see the boxers on the ground and they just sit there forever until they don't dissolve and just add to the pollution of the earth. But maybe they're 100% cotton and all natural. Like, I don't know what's going on. So okay, I'm being weird. I don't know how to end these things. I started with some music. I'm gonna end with some music and so we can sign off. Some grifter probably already took them. Yeah, they're probably gone. Like, people are suffering, people are struggling, people are looking for any free shit they can get, even if it's full of shit. Like, it's still worth it. So anyways, we'll end with that. Okay, bye everyone.